All right, good morning, Miss Hoffman's class. So, we're going to be learning about symbols today, what they mean, and how we can use them. So, if I came up to you and I did this, what does that mean? Or if I did like this, right? What does that mean? It means I need to go to the restroom, right? So if Miss Hoffman's talking and I don't want to interrupt her, I do this to show that I really need to go to the restroom. Perfect. So that's a symbol for I need to go to the restroom, and we don't have to say anything for Miss Hoffman to understand that's what we need. All right? If I did this, that means that I need to go get a drink of water, right? And what about this one? I need to sharpen my pencil. Perfect. Alrighty. So we have all of these symbols, and it's so we can communicate with Miss Hoffman without actually saying anything, right? Have you ever seen any symbols around when you're driving maybe, or around town? Alrighty, so we have this stop sign. And what does a stop sign represent? What does a stop sign symbolize? A stop sign symbolizes that you need to stop, right? Without actually saying anything, because the stop sign can't talk. Perfect. Alrighty, so this stop sign means that when I'm driving, I have to stop. I don't just look around, slow down, and keep going, right? I actually have to stop at a stop sign. Alrighty. If I took away the word stop, would it still be a stop sign? It still would be a stop sign. Perfect. Well, we had that stop there just to remind everybody what it is. Alrighty, so I have this picture of a White House. The name of it is White House 2. That's awesome. So what does it symbolize? What does it represent? So it is a symbol for America. Who lives in the White House? The president lives in the White House. Correct. That's awesome. Alrighty, so the White House is sort of a symbol for America. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to move on, and we're going to read the story of what do a flag, a bell, and an eagle all have in common. So this is the point where I would read the story, and then I would end on the image of the American seal, and keep it open for the students. Alrighty, everybody, so we've just read that story. I want you to look at the seal of America, and I want you to talk about what kind of symbols you see. So this seal can't talk, but it has a lot of symbols that do say other things, right? So we have an olive branch in one hand that means peace, and arrows in the other that means war, right? We have 13 stars above the eagle's head that represent the 13 colonies. What are some other things that you see? We have a bald eagle, perfect. And then we have the colors red, white, and blue. Awesome, so those all are representations of America. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do for our activity today is we're all gonna create flags as if we were our own countries. And we're gonna put a lot of symbols into them, right? We wanna put symbols that represent values that we have. So for America, some of the symbols are the 13 colonies, because that's really important to them. The 13 stars are the 13 colonies. Another symbol is the eagle to represent freedom. And then the olive branch and the arrows both represent peace and war, which are two big values, right? Okay, so I want you to think about some things, some images, some symbols that might represent different values that you have or that your country might have. So some values that we have here at Twin Peaks are here on the walls. There are Twin Peaks values. We have communication, trustworthy, honest, friendship. These are all super important values to Twin Peaks. So if we were going to create our country, I want you to think about some values that you have and how are you going to represent them. So I personally, my favorite food is green chili, and I want to represent that in my flag. That's a huge value of mine, is that my country's going to love spicy food and everybody's going to know it. So since my favorite food is green chili, I'm going to put the color green in there. My favorite value is friendship, because I love being friends. And a symbol for me to represent value or represent friendship is a sunflower. So I'm going to put a sunflower in my flag. Now, friendship might mean something different to you, and you can represent it in a different way. But I want your flag to have color, and I want it to have symbols that all represent different values and represent different things that are important to your country. And then after, I'll collect them all. After about 10 to 15 minutes, I'll collect all of them, and then we're going to put them all around the classroom to represent all of our different countries. And this is the moment where I'd hand out the papers, and I'd let the students work on their flags. Alrighty, so after they're all done, I would collect the flags. Alright, everybody, so right now what I'm handing out is a piece of paper. At the very top it says 3, and by the 3, it says, what are 3 symbols that represent America? We've talked about so many symbols today, right? We've talked about before the book, we talked about a few symbols. During the book, we talked about 3 main symbols. After the book, we talked about a whole bunch of symbols in our seal, right? So I want you to think of at least 3 symbols that we talked about in our lesson today. It doesn't have to be the same 3 as the person next to you, as long as you have 3 symbols that represent America. And then for the 2, it says, what are 2 reasons why these symbols are important? So why are these symbols important to have for America? What do they represent? What values do they show to other people, maybe? Maybe it was an important thing in our past. If you remember the stars, possibly. Maybe it's a value we have. And then on number 1, it says, explain how your flag symbolizes a value of some sort. So what's one value that you've put into your flag? For me, it could be my friendship as a sunflower, or it could be my love for spicy food as the color green. It all depends on what you put. So when you're done, I want you all to bring me your 3, 2, 1 pieces of paper, and then we're going to work on our math for today. So I want you to get out your math books afterwards. Alrighty.